We gotta talk about uranium and uranium stocks. Tough day taking it on the chin, yes, especially energy fuels. Mini crash in energy fuels. What's going on? What are we doing with the stock? What are the levels to watch? Let's talk about it now. Welcome to Hot Trades of the Day, your show for swing trading ideas for the coming days, weeks, and month. Okay, let me start off by apologizing to you. Why is that? Well, I wanted to do a video warning about a potential correction in uranium at the beginning of August, and it did get published at a different publication here in Germany, and then I just lost track of it with everything going on in the markets. So I apologize for you for that. That won't happen again. If I see something like this, I'll just put out a special video, an urgent warning for this. Basically, you're seeing the URA, the ETF here, and I think I put the warning out here. I mean, that's easy to say now, but I guess you can find it if you're looking for it. Anyway, what do we have in the URA? Well, we have double top. We have a broken uptrend. Ouch, double ouch. Broken support zone, triple ouch. And broken 50-day moving average. That is a lot of damage done in a very short time to the uranium stocks. Now, as you can see, we are reaching an important support zone, but judging by the correction that we have seen, I don't think that is the end of it. What makes more sense is this double zone right here, which is the upper end of the resistance zone, as you can see here. So we broke out. After the breakout, we had to run up, and usually what happens is we get a retest. Not all the time. Sometimes they just keep running, but most of the times you'll get a retest sooner or later. Took a while, but looks like we are on our way. So that would mean that we're going back to an area of like 34 to 33.75. We also have, you see this brown line right here, an open gap in that area. So that makes complete sense. If we run a fib over it, here we go. Then you can see that a 38.2 is around in that area as well. So we got three factors that are basically drawing the prices of the URA towards this zone. So obviously a lot of retail investors are worried. I'm not. I'm excited. Why? Because I want to buy more uranium stocks. Again, this is the best supply-demand situation in any commodity, maybe with the exception of some rare earth, that we see for this commodity super cycle. This is where I want to be invested in. Yeah, I'll buy some oil stocks for the dividends and for my dividend portfolio, fine. I don't care about coal, I don't care about natural gas. The story in the energy sector and one of these stories in the commodity sector overall is the uranium story, especially, as you know, made in the USA. That is the super story, so to speak, right? You'll make money in a lot of different ways in super cycles, but what we're looking for is where can we make the most money? We can't be on every party, right? We can't attend every party. The night only has so many hours. So let's go to the best parties. What are the best parties in my opinion? Gold, silver, uranium, right? For example, I don't call myself an expert on lithium. I don't look at many of the smaller strategic metals, industrial metals. I look at rare earth. I look at defense commodities, arms commodities. That'll be a big one, right? That's what I care about. Small markets. They don't even have a future trading for a lot of the commodities. So if people want to invest in it, they have to invest in it through companies. That's interesting, right? Uranium, kind of the same thing. So if we take a look at the uranium stocks See how I brought this back full circle? That was pretty good, right? I give me credit for this one. We got to talk about energy fuels and the monster crash-like drop that we saw yesterday, down almost 18% in one day. Shock horror, people freaking out. All right, let's take a deep breath. Let's zen this up here. And while you're taking a zen breath, hit the subscribe button, because only here you'll find information about some of the smaller stocks that not everybody's talking about. So what's going on with energy fuels? When you look at the bottom, you see the volume, you see the insane volume that we saw yesterday in the selling, much higher than, as you can see, at any time in the month before. That means institutions are selling. That's the first thing. The second thing is energy fuels is big enough for institutions to invest in, but it's not a big stock. It's not liquid by institutional measures. So this combination, an institution wants to get out now, but the stock is not liquid enough to do it with reasonable prices, and that will lead to the dramatic price declines that we saw in energy fuels yesterday. And if you look at the daily chart, you can clearly see what was happening. So don't look at the time, because those are German times. That's not the point. The point is, as you can see, basically right after the market opened, massive volumes on the sell side. And that's what really drove down the stocks. And obviously then the algos triggered and it moved the price down further. But the most important part is we saw massive selling in the beginning. Now, we saw selling in every uranium stock yesterday. But this was unusually high here, the losses at energy fuels. So what does that mean? Earnings report came out August 6th. So that's already baked into the market. That was 2 weeks ago. That can't be the reason. The WNA Symposium, which is the most important uranium conference in the world, is coming up September 3rd to September 5th in London. Your boy may fly in for that. I'm not 100% sure yet if I can work it out with my schedule. That could be it. But clearly someone wants to be out. And if you see selling like this at any price, it can mean nothing, but it usually either means someone got margin called, then this will be a great buying opportunity, or someone knows something and bad news is coming down the road. We don't know what it is yet. I can also tell you artificial intelligence doesn't know what it is, because I asked it to dig in to rumors and news and they couldn't find anything. So what do we do in this scenario? We wait. Why do we wait? Well, three reasons. The first reason is, this is one of the nastiest candles you'll ever see. As you can see, it basically covers all the price development from, what is this candle? July, so basically for the past month, in one day. That is quite a bearish signal. We are seeing the risk on movement in the stock market slowing down. That obviously affects the commodity stocks as well, as we saw yesterday, by the way, in the mining stocks, gold, silver miners, right? And obviously the uranium miners. The uranium miners are basically the equivalent of the ARK hyper stocks in the tech sector. So when there's risk on and there's a good vibe for uranium and the trend is up, boy, everybody's buying it, everybody's loving it. But they're also the ones that go down the hardest and the fastest, because the retail money, which dominates the uranium sector, is flowing out as soon as there's risk off behavior and people are getting worried. I'm waiting now and see what's going to happen. I want to see if there's additional selling. Are there now other institutions that gonna jump on board? because they talk on Wall Street all the time. And maybe one institution or two or whoever sold yesterday has information. Now they start to share it because they're out of their position. They don't care anymore, right? So do we see additional selling pressure, or was that it? Was that a one-off event? Now, as you can see in the chart, we hit a support zone right now, the purple zone, the purple horizontal line, but it's not very strong. I'm definitely not buying a rebound. What I do like is obviously this area right here, where we have triple support of the upper end of the old resistance zone, now support zone, I'll show to you in a second, the 50-day moving average, the purple line right here, and the upper end of the uptrend channel that we broke out of, which basically triggered this whole move up, and that we haven't retested yet at all. And as you can see, this resistance zone goes back to the old highs of energy fuels from 2021. Obviously, then we pushed up in this move right here. But as you can see, it has been a severe effect. If we've been under it, we've been going lower. It's a pivot zone, right? If we stayed above it, which we rarely did for longer, we stayed above it. So I think we're going to stay above it, right? But we at least going to test it. That's what this chart suggests to me. So I still think we have a correction coming in the stock market. That will hit the commodity stocks and especially the uranium stocks. Because contrary to, for example, gold or silver, uranium, again, is not traded as a future on the exchanges. It's basically a sentiment play, right? If you have the gold miners and the stock market goes down, but gold goes up, that basically gives investors something to look at and say, ooh, okay, let me buy the dip on the gold miners right away, or the silver miners. We don't have that in uranium. I mean, we have the spot price, obviously, but not many of the retail investors look at it. And by the way, this is the next important information that we need to talk about. So the spot price for the month of July came out, and it was severely lower than it was in June. So we had 3 months, for the first time in a year, of rising spot prices, and everybody was happy. But now the numbers for July came out, and man, it's a severe drop. So this severe drop in uranium prices is, in my opinion, the reason why we see the sell-off in uranium stocks. We had a monster run-up in uranium stocks. People are booking profits, possibly before a correction in the stock market, which affected uranium stocks. So people are banking profits, taking money and gains off the table after this crazy run-up from April in the uranium stocks. Understandable, right? Because again, uranium stocks, the most risk-on stocks that we have, except obviously junior explorers, but if we talk about serious investments. And clearly some institutions are also selling, in my opinion, on the news about the declining uranium prices. Sorry about the noise, by the way. Somebody's doing some serious construction here. That's it for today. If you like this content, and we're going to talk about uranium more in the coming days and weeks, a lot more, because if this correction extends itself, we get a great buying opportunity. If you like the content, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, leave a comment what companies you are interested in the uranium sector, and I'll talk to you in a couple of days.